Let us consider something for a minute. If you earned $1 per second, it will only take you 11 and a half days to make $1 million. But $1 billion now, earning $1 per second, it is going to be taking you 31 and a half years. You see, many people think it is easy to consider wealth being in terms of just rich or poor. But broadly speaking, there are arguably 5 different levels of being rich, and at each level, things change drastically. The difference between what a millionaire can do as opposed to what a billionaire can do is simply staggering. So in this video, we're going to be exploring what life is like at each of these levels of wealth and delving into how the super and ultra rich spend their money, including some of the most bizarre and extravagant purchases that they have made. Stay tuned because there will be more right after this.
Let's go!
Welcome back. And to never miss another of our video essays, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Also, as this video is about wealth, I would like you to know that you can be paid every time someone swipes their credit card in your city, town, country, or just about anywhere else in the world. The coolest thing about it is that it will cost you less than about $10, and the link is in the description below. Now, as you're watching this, you'll realize that one of the biggest changes that happens at each wealth level is that of perspective. Now, this is mainly because prices feel relative to how much you earn. So, if you compare someone who is earning $40,000 a year to someone else who is earning $400 million a year, that's a 10,000 times difference, which means a Lamborghini that costs $300,000 to them who earn in the millions, it is the equivalent of spending $30. A $10 million art piece feels more like just spending $1,000, and that $50 million home in the Hamptons feels just like spending $5,000. So whilst to us these purchases would feel so major, to a billionaire it's not even something they need to think about. Of course, when you're that wealthy, it's not just items and experiences that you can buy, but we'll get to that later on. Let's instead start off with the very first level of being rich. Even though this phrase is synonymous with being extremely rich, if your income is over about $200,000 per year, you would technically be part of the top 1% of the worldwide earners. And so, being in the top 1% may not make you feel rich or quite as rich as you think, because sure, you can typically afford a nice house and car, and with those things comes higher cost, of course. And so you won't probably feel very financially secure, and you're likely still working a full-time job, because the more wealth you have, the more assets you're going to have, and you're probably not making your money from a salary. Now, at this level, your needs are met. You can live very, very comfortably. You have a really nice house. You can fly first class internationally. If it's a special occasion, you might book a $2,000 suite. You can afford any healthcare you need. And in fact, no emergency financial situation can destroy your life. But the reality is that you're still not rich in the way that money doesn't matter. You still have to be sensible and careful with big decisions. And in the banking world, you're still not classified as ultra high net worth, which brings us to the next level. At this point, you start playing in the big leagues, and most likely you run or have a controlling interest in a very large company. You always stay at 5-star hotels, and you have multiple residences all around the world you can stay at as well. You take holidays during prime time, for example going to Monaco for the Grand Prix or Cannes for the film festival. And you won't bat an eye when the place you're staying at costs $10,000 to $20,000 per night. You now have personal assistants and starting to have people that others need to talk to before they get to you. You can buy pretty much anything that normal people think of as stuff rich people buy. Like you can get the cars you want, the fanciest jewelry, and so on. Instead of flying first class, you fly private, although you would typically charter a flight or own a private jet fractionally through a service like NetJets instead of buying it outright and having to maintain it. But at this level, your social circle changes dramatically too. You probably socialize with congressmen, senators, politicians, and community leaders. You are likely very well respected within some very high circles. The interesting thing though is that since you're likely surrounded by other ultra wealthy people, you may still feel you don't have enough. Sure, you may have just bought a brand new Ferrari, but your friend has a limited edition version where only 5 of them were ever made. Sure, you just had dinner with a local governor, but your billionaire friend just had dinner with the president, which brings us to the next level of wealth. To be at this level, you likely have ownership or control of a business that most of the public have heard of, even if they haven't even heard of you directly. At this point, you can likely socialize with movie stars, rock stars, and the corporate elite. You can go pretty much anywhere you want and always in style. You have multiple residences with staff all over the world with elite cars at each residence. Yes, if it's your thing, you might have a private island and of course a private yacht to take you there. Almost any experience you can dream of, you can have. Want to play tennis with your favorite tennis star? Call up his people and for a donation of 100,000 plus to his charity, you can probably play a match with him or her. Want your favorite band to come and play at your private party? At the right price, they will. Love art? Your people could arrange for the curator of the Louvre to show you around and show you some masterpieces that haven't even been exhibited in years. If you can dream and experience up, you can likely have it. Donations and fees can get you to anyone. Once you have many hundreds of millions of dollars, it's the same with buying things. You may hire people to find you the most extravagant versions of items possible. For example, the Australian company Toilet Paper Man produces 22 karat gold toilet paper for a cost of over $1.3 million. And if you are going to quite literally flush money down the toilet, why not get a gold toilet or an entire gold bathroom to go with it? In fact, if you're ultra wealthy, you can literally have gold everything. How about a 24 karat gold water bottle, which in itself is a piece of designer art, and it comes with spring water from France and Fiji combined with glacier water from Iceland? Or alternatively, how about the world's most expensive iPhone, which has 24 karat gold casing and more than 600 white and black diamonds, and sapphire glass for the screen? Why not? This certainly isn't available to the public, and to buy one, you'd need over $15 million. At this level, it's not just about buying the fanciest, most luxurious items. It's about getting the rarest and the most exclusive things you possibly can. You could get a limited edition pen that costs $160,000, has 4,810 diamonds inside, and only 8 of these each year. Or, if you want to go a lot bigger than that, many billionaires turn to art. Not just rare paintings, but things like this dead shark art piece created by Damien Hirst and sold for $12 million. Or let's say you like piano. Well, here's the same crystal piano that was used for the Beijing Olympic Games. It was purchased at an auction by a private bidder for a record $3.22 million. Your mind is the only real limit to what is available at that level. At our final level of $1 billion or more net worth, you are going to see how crazy some billionaires are. But before we get into what you can do as a billionaire, which is of course pretty insane, it's worth noting that the number of billionaires on Forbes' annual rich list has significantly increased in recent years, and there's now around 2,800 known billionaires. Of course, it's possible that there are more who have generated wealth that simply do a good job of staying very, very private. Either way, Forbes has estimated that those approximately 2,800 billionaires are worth a combined $13.2 trillion, and therefore they have more wealth between them than the poorest 5 billion people on Earth combined. In fact, Oxfam have argued that the very richest 26 billionaires have more wealth between them than the poorest 50% of the world. Now, these statistics are overwhelming, but let's actually visualize it to put things into perspective. This visualization really highlights that even within this billionaire category, the difference between 1 billion and the kind of wealth Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos has is vastly insane. So now that you've had a better idea of the scale of $1 billion, let's look at what you can do with it, because essentially you can buy anything, and I do mean literally anything. We're no longer just talking about luxurious items and experiences. Firstly, you can buy access. You can ask your staff to contact almost anyone on the planet and get a call back. It's amazing the level of access and the respect $1 billion can get you, where within an hour you could ask your people to get in touch with someone and they'd be able to do it. It's not just celebrities either, it works the same with powerful people within politics too, especially because the billionaire may well be a donor to their political party. And so if you're a billionaire, you may occasionally meet with heads of states and have conversations with them, which brings us to the second thing $1 billion can buy: influence. As a billionaire, you have many ways to shape public policy and the public debate. This isn't always done in some kind of evil, shady way like lobbying for lower taxes for rich people. Although, of course, obviously this does happen. But because of your wealth and connections, you can absolutely influence big changes in the world, and not just on a political level. Because another thing that you can buy with that sort of money is impact. Through philanthropy and charity, your money can literally change countless lives. The question is, how do you distribute it? Clean water for villages, funding new hospitals, trying to save a dying species of animals? With money, you can impact almost anything of your choice. But one of the biggest differences with billionaires that is often overlooked is the ability to essentially buy time. Yes, my friends, you quite literally don't have to wait for anything. No lines, no sitting around. Just think about it. You've got your own private jet, so you just show up at the airport whenever you want, sit down in the plane, and 2 minutes later, you're in the sky to go where you wish. When you arrive, a driver will have been arranged to pick you up and take you wherever you want to go. Your assistant will have already got you the best table at the restaurant you mentioned wanting to eat at. Your assistant arranged for a celebrity chef to come to one of your vacation homes instead, at whatever time you choose. Even with these perks and advantages, however, believe it or not, there are some downsides to being this ultra wealthy. Yes, there is. Firstly, it's nearly impossible for you to have normal emotional relationships at this level. It can become increasingly difficult to have friends and family that love you for who you are. Yes, they exist, but it is going to be pretty hard to know which ones they are, because your world is likely filled with yes men and people looking to take advantage at every opportunity. Your trust and connections with people are undoubtedly considerably weakened. Dating, if you're not married, of course, also becomes an odd experience. On the one hand, some of the world's most beautiful and intelligent women are all around you at parties and events. But again, finding someone you have a genuine emotional connection with is a different story, especially because your time is so valuable that you're always busy and unable to invest in making deep connections with new people. And even if you find someone, the relationship balance is skewed in a strange way when you have essentially unlimited money. No matter whether you pay for everything or whether your partner makes their own money, either way, something just feels off. Well, finally, and most crucially, no level of money can give you everything. My friends, death is the great equalizer. And losing loved ones, losing your own health, and facing your own mortality are problems that no amount of money can solve. The person on Reddit who inspired this video, and of course deserves full credit, talks about how he met Sylvester Stallone at a party, who has obviously had a very successful career. He said he was such a great guy, had huge levels of wealth and luxury, a smart and beautiful wife, and yet he also had a special needs son who died young. In his words, nobody has it all. Nobody. Now, it is easy to look up and feel frustrated that some people have so much more than us. But just to look down the wealth pyramid for a moment, if you have access to internet just to watch this, plus food in your refrigerator, clothes on your back, a roof over your head, and a place to sleep, then consider this: you are richer than 75% of the planet. In fact, even if you have just $1, yes, just $1 to your name right now, you are still richer than the majority of the world who are either heavily in debt. Even though they may seem to be winning, they are so heavily in debt that you are way richer than they are. And then there are other people who have absolutely nothing. And I mean literally nothing. What this video really should highlight to you is that the argument of rich versus poor is so arbitrary, because there are so many levels to being rich, also to being poor, and also at every level there are many other layers that need to be unraveled. And compared to most of the world, you might be a lot richer than you think, believe it or not. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so that you know when we upload other mini documentaries that are on there. Remember to click that link in the description. Thanks for watching.
Let's go!